Hello and welcome to the Allied Health Career Chat with Future Connect. We're doing a series of interviews with people from around the area who work in a range of different industries, and we're asking them about their career pathways and what they enjoy about their jobs. My name is Deirdre and I'm the Executive Officer of Future Connect. Future Connect is an organisation that works around Brimbank and Melton to support young people in their education, pathways and employment opportunities around the area. So today I'm joined by Molly Roberts. Molly, you're working for the Brotherhood of St Lawrence, which is a LAC in the area. Can you please explain what a LAC is?
Sure. So I work for the Brotherhood of St Lawrence, and we are employed by the NDIS to deliver the NDIS in the local community. So my role as an LAC is to support people through the NDIS process and also to connect people with mainstream services if that's what they require.
So when I think of the NDIS, I think that the NDIS is to support people with disabilities to kind of live their life in the way that they choose. Is that a fair representation, or is there something else that we should add?
No, that's definitely fair. The NDIS works towards making sure that everyone is presented with a level playing field so that they can reach their goals.
Excellent. And so you're working for the LAC now, but what has your pathway been? So what's your career journey looked like?
So when I first was in high school, I was a lifeguard, and while I was a lifeguard, I saw a group of people enter the pool, and I asked, "Oh, guys, what are you doing here?" And they were a group of people with disabilities and their carers, and I saw them and I thought, man, I could do that role. That looks pretty fun. Yeah. So after school, I became a disability support worker. I worked for respite services, specialist disability accommodation, and I really loved that role. It was very hands-on and you could definitely make a difference in people's lives. Yeah. And through that, I saw that there was definitely some work that could be done further up the chain. So I decided to study social work. I got my degree in social work, and from there I've always stayed in the disability industry, and now I'm a local area coordinator.
So when you talked about residential care before, that means a place where people with a disability actually live. So they live full-time at somewhere that's called a residential. And what sort of work would you do as a support worker in that setting?
Yeah, so that's correct. That's where someone lives and they receive care 24/7. So I did 24/7 I did shifts anywhere over the period of 24/7 hours. We would provide personal care, domestic assistance, daily living assistance. We would help these people go out into the community, do shopping, assist them to go to their day services or places of employment, maintain the house. There was a lot that you could do.
Yeah, and so people who would do that support work, are they typically employed full-time or do they tend to do part-time or casual hours? What does that look like?
The industry is largely based on flexible working hours. So generally it's a pool of casuals, some part-time employees, but although even if you are a casual, you can still work full-time hours. There's a lot of work in the industry.
Right. So can you tell us then, now as you're in your role as a LAC or local area coordinator, can you tell us what your day looks like?
Sure. So I work largely in an office-based environment. We hold meetings. We probably do about 2 to 3 meetings a week with family members and participants of the NDIS. Some meetings can be held off-site, so that gives a little bit of excitement to your day when you're able to get in the fleet car and drive somewhere. But otherwise, it's a lot. I don't know if my boss will like me telling you, but it is a lot of administration work.
Yeah.
You're on your computer for a lot of the day. There's a lot of writing involved, a lot of processes involved as well. But yeah, no, a typical day would probably be coming in, opening your emails, replying to some emails, maybe doing a meeting, team meeting maybe, back on the emails.
Yeah.
Yeah, finishing off with some writing on the computer.
Excellent. And can you tell me then what skills you think are needed, I guess both for your current role, but also for your role as a disability support worker? So what sort of skills do you think people need?
Yeah, so I think both roles are similar. You definitely need empathy when you're working with people.
Yeah.
You have to take into account their wishes and how you can best support them. You definitely need to be organised. You have to plan ahead, even if that's just a couple of hours ahead. You always have to be thinking about the next thing that you're going to be doing that day. And within that as well, you have to prioritise. Prioritise the tasks. So as a support worker, if you're doing a morning shift, you always have to prioritise, for example, helping people out of bed before starting their breakfast.
Yeah. And if you were thinking about that skill of organisation and being able to kind of plan ahead and think about what's important and do those things, are they skills that you use in your current role as well? So you'd use that in both support work and in your current role?
Yeah, definitely. I think organisation is the key, especially when working with people. Yeah.
And I guess being able to build a rapport with people and understand what their needs are and what they're telling you even.
Yeah, people skills is, overall people skills is huge.
Yeah. Excellent. So can you tell me if there are any qualifications that you need to work in that space?
So as a disability support worker, I think it's good if you have a certificate for in disability, but it's not yet necessary. So you can definitely, I started without a certificate. And if you're showing that you're willing to take part in training and maybe one day get that certificate, then you can definitely get a job. However, the certificate that I did do, I think it was about 6 months, and it was really enjoyable. So a good one to get. As a local area coordinator, I believe that you need some sort of allied health background certificate training.
Yeah.
A lot of the new staff that are coming through at the moment, they do have that social work background. Again, I'm not sure of whether or not that's a necessity to get the job. I think lived experience is also looked upon favourably as well.
So when you say lived experience, do you mean somebody who has a disability themselves?
Yeah. Someone who may have a disability or may have been impacted by disability in some way, whether that's living with a family member or being a carer for a family member. Yeah.
And I suppose if somebody has a disability themselves or has a sibling with a disability or a parent with a disability, they might, you talked before about building empathy and being able to understand the person. They may actually come with a lot of those skills just through having lived with someone with disability.
Yeah, for sure. That sort of knowledge is invaluable.
Excellent. And what's the best thing about working in allied health?
It definitely would be the people that we meet with. So it's never a boring day. You're always chatting to someone new and hearing a new story. And also the staff members as well. Everyone is here for a common goal, and it's really nice to share that goal and work towards that goal as a team.
Yeah. Excellent. So where do you see the industry in 5 years?
I think that the NDIS is going to change the world. I think that there's a lot of exciting things happening, especially with the LAC role. So particularly in our office, we're really trying to steer away from all those administration tasks, and we're trying to do some community capacity building. So really get out there and change what disability looks like in the community. I think it's a really exciting space to be in.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that I know with disability will say that actually their disability is not the thing that's hardest for them. It's the way that that other people work with them, or the way that something's built or something's set up, as in, you know, they might need ramps because they have a wheelchair, or they might need sensory breaks because they're on the spectrum. You know, that's often the thing that I hear.
Yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, that's definitely true. And I should have said at the start, but a part of the NDIS, we do have, we dedicate 10% of our time to community capacity building. So that's going out into the community and chatting to organisations and asking them if we can if we can train them on disability awareness, or whether or not community facilities are accessible. Do they have ramps? You know, do they have breakout rooms and all those sorts of things? So really just bringing the rest of the community up to scratch so that everyone can enjoy it.
Yeah. So really in 5 years, you kind of see that maybe there won't have been so much of a change in the NDIS as such, or in allied health as such, but more that there'll be changes in the rest of the world that make it more accepting.
Yeah, and hopefully the NDIS can facilitate those sort of changes.
Excellent. All right, was there anything else that you wanted to kind of touch on before we finish, Molly?
Not so much. I'm happy if anyone wants to shoot through any questions. Yeah, you've got all my details.
Excellent. Thanks so much. So thank you, Molly Roberts from Brotherhood of St Lawrence, the LAC in Brimbank and Melton, or just Melton?
Just Brimbank.
Just Brimbank, sorry. Thanks, Molly.